In this video, we are going to study aortic arches in different groups of vertebrates and how such aortic arches have undergone changes in different forms of vertebrates during the long course of evolution. Before I explain this specific topic, let us study the route of blood circulation in different forms of vertebrates. See here, in case of fishes, the heart is two-chambered, that is one auricle and one ventricle. And this heart always contains venous blood because from different parts of the body, veins collect venous blood and such blood is poured into the auricle. When this auricle contracts, then blood is pumped into the ventricle. And when ventricle contracts, then the venous blood is pumped to gills, and at the surface of gills, blood gets aerated or oxygenated, and the oxygenated blood will then be supplied to different parts of the body. So this is the way by which blood circulates in fishes. In case of amphibians, heart is three-chambered. That is, there are two auricles and a single ventricle. And here in case of amphibians, the impure blood that gets collected from different parts of the body and is poured into right auricle. And the pure blood or oxygenated blood that comes from lungs to the left auricle. And when auricles contract, then the blood is pumped to the ventricle. So this ventricle receives mixed blood, that is oxygenated as well as deoxygenated. And this mixed blood is then pumped to the lungs for further oxygenation or further, oxygen intake, and it is also pumped to different parts of the body. Now, since amphibians are sluggish animals, they can utilize this mixed blood for their physiological need. And in case of reptiles, again heart is three-chambered, particularly in case of turtles, lizards, snakes, you will find heart being three-chambered, except crocodiles, because crocodiles they have four-chambered heart, but here ventricle that is partially divided. So there is actually some separation of blood in the ventricle region, and here also the impure blood is collected from different parts of the body and that is supplied to the right auricle. Pure blood that comes to the left auricle. Now this blood will be pumped to the ventricle. So ventricle receives blood from both auricles, and there will be some mixing of blood in the ventricle, and then blood further gets supplied to the lungs and the body. Now in case of birds and mammals, heart becomes four-chambered. That is, auricles they get properly divided into right and left auricles, and ventricle also get completely divided into right ventricle and left ventricle. So here in this case, there is complete separation of oxygenated and deoxygenated blood in case of birds and mammals. Now if we observe the aortic arches, what we find that heart in embryonic stage, that is simply two-chambered structure, and the anterior part of the heart, that is actually ventricle, it gives a swollen structure, and that portion is called as conus arteriosus. Now this conus arteriosus continues in the form of ventral aorta, and ventral aorta on either side gives branches. So there are 6 major branches. So these are first, second, third, fourth, fifth and sixth afferent branchial vessels, or you can say afferent branchial arteries, which actually supply their blood to the gills or pharyngeal perforations. So we find that in the embryonic stage of vertebrates, particularly the lower vertebrates, you find exactly this arrangement where the ventral aorta will be giving rise on either side the afferent branchial arteries, which actually continue in the form of efferent branchial arteries. And so there will be 6 pairs of efferent branchial arteries, and they will be pouring their blood into the lateral dorsal aorta. So this is lateral dorsal aorta, this one is lateral dorsal aorta, which continues anteriorly in the form of internal carotid artery. And here this ventral aorta, it is continuing in the form of external carotid artery. So this is the arrangement one can see in the embryonic stage. So this is actually basic pattern of chief arterial channels of a typical vertebrate embryo. And see, the lateral dorsal aorta unite posteriorly and make a single dorsal aorta, which continues up to the posterior most region and it supplies blood through caudal artery. So this is the arrangement, but we find that this arrangement gets very much changed in different forms of vertebrates. So let us see what kind of modifications take place. See, this is exactly the same arrangement which we have just seen. Here also it is shown that this one is ventral aorta. This is actually arising from the heart. This heart is two-chambered here. This one is auricle, this is ventricle. This posterior part is sinus venosus. This is actually conus arteriosus. So this conus arteriosus, it gives anteriorly ventral aorta, and this ventral aorta on its either side forms aortic arches. So there are 6 aortic arches, means 6 pairs of aortic arches. This is first one, this is second, this is third, this one is fourth, this is fifth aortic arch, and this is sixth aortic arch. And the blood vessel on either side of aortic arch then join with the dorsal lateral dorsal aorta. So this is one lateral dorsal aorta, this one is another lateral dorsal aorta. So these two lateral dorsal aorta, posteriorly they unite and form single dorsal aorta, and anteriorly that forms internal carotid artery. This one is external carotid artery. So this is the arrangement we have already seen. Now we have to see that what kind of modifications have occurred in different forms of vertebrates. So this table shows the modifications of embryonic aortic arches in adult vertebrates. See, on this left side of column, the embryonic aortic arches are mentioned. As we know that there are 6 pairs of aortic arches. So here first pair, second pair, like this 6 pairs of aortic arches are shown in this left side column. Then the different groups of vertebrates are shown on the upper region, that is elasmobranchs, teleost means bony fishes, then amphibians like frog, reptiles like lizards, birds and mammals. So these are different groups of vertebrates. And see, the first pair of embryonic arches totally disappear in all these forms. That is starting from cartilaginous fishes like elasmobranchs up to mammals. The first pair of aortic arches are totally absent. If we consider the second pair of embryonic aortic arch, then that persists in elasmobranchs and it is referred as first aortic arch. So, and the rest of them, that is other vertebrates like bony fishes, amphibians, reptiles, birds and mammals, in their case the second pair of aortic arch is totally absent. So in case of elasmobranchs, only first pair of aortic arch is absent, remaining 5 pairs are persisting and they are referred as first, second, third, fourth and fifth. In case of teleost, the first and second both pairs of aortic arches are absent and only 4 pairs of aortic arches are present, because teleost fishes, they have 4 pairs of gills, so each gill pair will have a aortic arch. So we can see here first, second, third and fourth aortic arches remain in case of bony fishes. In case of amphibians, the third pair of aortic arch is in the form of carotid arteries, and the fourth pair of aortic arches remain as right and left systemic arteries. The fifth pair of aortic arch in case of amphibians that disappears, and the sixth pair of aortic arch that remains as right and left pulmonary arteries. So instead of naming them as a first or second aortic arch, they are given a specific name. So this is important to remember, that in case of amphibians, specific names are there for these aortic arches. Like the third one is referred as carotid arteries, the fourth one as right and left systemic arteries, the sixth are referred as right and left pulmonary arteries. Now in case of reptiles, here also the third pair of aortic arches, they are carotid arteries. Then fourth pair of aortic arches, they are right and left systemic arteries, and the sixth pair, they are referred as right and left pulmonary arteries. In case of birds, the third pair is referred as carotid arteries. Fourth pair is referred as right systemic artery. This is an important aspect to remember, that in case of birds, only right systemic artery persists. Left one is totally lacking. And here the sixth aortic arch that persists in the form of right and left pulmonary arteries. In case of mammals, third pair persists in the form of carotid arteries, and the fourth pair persists in the form of left systemic artery. So this is the difference between birds and mammals. In case of mammal, it is left systemic artery that persists, and the right one is totally lacking, and the fifth one will not be present, and sixth one is in the form of right and left pulmonary arteries. So exactly the same thing we can observe in this figure. What we are observing, that this is basic pattern in which you can see the presence of 6 pairs of aortic arches, that is first, second, third, fourth, fifth and sixth. These are 6 pairs of aortic arches which are coming out from the either side of this ventral aorta. But in case of teleosts, since only 4 pairs of gills are there, so they have 4 pairs of aortic arches, that is first, second, third and fourth. In fact, the real first and second are absent, and these 4 are persisting, but they are being named as first pair, second pair, third pair and fourth pair. In case of anurans, as I said, the third one will be referred as carotid artery. So this one is carotid artery. Then the fourth one is referred as right and left, because this side is right, this side is left. So right and left systemic arteries are there. The sixth one is being referred as right and left pulmonary arteries. In case of reptiles, exactly the same pattern you can see here. The third one is in the form of carotid arteries. Then the fourth one is in the form of right and left systemic arteries. And then there are pulmonary arteries, which are actually 6 aortic arches, that is right and left pulmonary arteries. In case of birds, we find the presence of carotid arteries. So these are third and first, second, they are totally absent. Here only the right systemic artery is there, and these 2 are right and left pulmonary arteries. In case of mammals, the third one is in the form of carotid artery. Then it is the left systemic artery present in case of mammal. The right one is not there, it is in the form of simply subclavian artery. And then there are right and left pulmonary arteries. So this is the arrangement which is shown here in this diagram, structural variations in aortic arches from fishes to mammals. As I said, that evolutionary changes could be seen in different forms of vertebrates. So if we consider elasmobranchs, they possess 5 pairs of aortic arches. Unfortunately, in this diagram, all 6 pairs are shown, but actually the first one will not be present. So only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pairs of aortic arches will be there in case of sharks. In case of teleost, 4 pairs of aortic arches will be there. In case of anurans, 1, 2, 3 means 3 pairs of aortic arches will be there. See here, these are 2 lungs, and right and left lungs, they are receiving blood through right and left pulmonary arteries. So it is shown here. In case of reptiles, also exactly same pattern is there, but in case of birds some modification is there. Only here the right systemic artery will be present, and in case of mammals only this means third and sixth will be there, but the fourth one will be in the form of this left systemic artery. So such modifications you can see during the course of evolution. In this diagram, you can see aortic arches in human embryo and also in the adult. So these colored blood vessels are present only in case of adults. See, this is actually carotid. This is internal carotid artery. This one is also internal carotid artery. This is external carotid artery. So carotid arteries are actually branch of this third aortic arch, and first and second, which persist in the embryo, disappear in the adult. And see, this one is fourth. It persists in case of mammals also in the form of systemic arteries, but here only the left systemic artery is developed, which continues in the form of dorsal aorta, and these two are sixth aortic arches, which are referred as right and left pulmonary arteries. So these are important points which one should know regarding aortic arches in different groups of vertebrates.